everything you thought you knew about New York politics. The city just elected a 34-year-old Democratic Socialist, its youngest mayor in over a century. He's taking on billionaires, battling skyrocketing rents and promising free buses, universal childcare, and a city that works for everyone and not just the wealthy. How did Zohran Mamdani pull it off, and why are millions of New Yorkers ready to follow him? Let's dive in. 34-year-old Zohran Mamdani is New York City's youngest mayor in over a century. A self-described democratic socialist, he's the city's first Muslim and Indian-American mayor, promising to make New York more affordable, fair, and focused on working people.
Zohran's election would be an example to the rest of the world about electing a socialist who will govern in the interests of the many, not just the few, in the interests of the people. And that is how we counter the far right, who are rising around the world in response to the financial crisis, the cost of living crisis, and we need the alternative.
Zohran Mamdani was born in Kampala, Uganda, and moved to New York when he was 7. His parents, a filmmaker and an academic, lived in different countries, giving him a broad global perspective. He went to the Bronx High School of Science, helped start the school's first cricket team, and later studied Africana Studies at Bowdoin College, and at some point even attempted to be a rapper. After deciding not to pursue rapping, Mamdani started helping people in Queens stay in their homes as a foreclosure counselor. That gave him first-hand experience with housing struggles, which became a big part of his mayoral plans. In 2020, he won a seat in the State Assembly for Astoria, defeating a longtime politician with promises to make housing more affordable, improve policing, and fix public services.
It's the fact that for most New Yorkers, they cannot afford to worry about anything else other than the fact that they can't afford their rent, they can't afford their groceries, their childcare, their Metro card. They're seeing more and more how impossible it is to make ends meet in this city. And so what we're seeing is an exodus of working class New Yorkers to states elsewhere where they hope that their dollar can go a little bit further.
His campaign promises were bold, and for some, downright intimidating. Rent freezes for over 1 million tenants, universal childcare, free buses, city-run grocery stores, and a $30 minimum wage by 2030. To pay for it all, Mamdani planned targeted taxes on the wealthiest 1% and big corporations. Not everyone was thrilled. A group of billionaires, including Bill Ackman, Ronald Lauder, and Michael Bloomberg, poured more than $22 million into super PACs and political groups, backing rivals like Andrew Cuomo. Even the president threw his weight behind Cuomo and threatened to cut funds if Mamdani took office.
After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Mamdani won over 1 million votes with support from young people, working-class renters, moderate black communities, and grassroots activists drawn to his message of fairness and affordability. His TikTok and Instagram videos dancing and interacting with fans made him feel real and relatable to a new generation of voters.
The name is Mamdani, M-A-M-D-A-N-I. The name is Mamdani.
I voted for Zohran Mamdani. I think I'm totally behind his wanting to freeze rent prices, make it more affordable in New York City. And he's actually a mayor who actually enjoys New York City and wants to be here rather than other candidates who are ready to leave once the election is over. He also feels just like a person of the people, and I think he's a great candidate.
Mamdani's personal life is as relatable as his politics. He met his wife, Rama Douaji, a Syrian-American illustrator and animator, on Hinge in 2021, and they tied the knot in 2025. Rama is a rising star in the art world, having worked with Spotify, The New Yorker, BBC, and Apple, and she shares her work online with a community that follows her for creativity and conversation. Together, they're a modern power couple, mixing politics, art, and a global perspective that reflects the city itself.
It's exciting to see a candidate who is Muslim that actually speaks to true progressive values and that is mobilizing people across all different faiths and backgrounds.
Now Mamdani is moving fast. His transition team is all female. Leading the squad is Ilana Leopold, a de Blasio veteran and Mamdani advisor. Co-chairs include housing and economic expert Maria Torres Springer, progressive regulator Lena Kahn, health and social services leader Melanie Hartzog, and Grace Bonilla, CEO of United Way NYC.
The hard work of improving New Yorkers' lives starts now. That process begins with transition. In the coming months, I and my team will build a city hall capable of delivering on the promises of this campaign. We will form an administration that is in equal parts capable and compassionate, driven by integrity, and willing to work just as hard as the millions of New Yorkers who call this city home.
Together, this team is tasked with delivering Mamdani's bold promises, including building 200,000 affordable homes and creating a Department of Community Safety to handle mental health and homelessness outside the NYPD.
I want to be very clear. We are not defunding the police. What we are talking about is sustaining the number of police that we have within the police department. And when I talk to those police officers themselves, they tell me they signed up to join the police force to tackle serious crimes. And yet what they're being asked to do today is serve as mental health professionals and social workers. The same officers who thought they'd be responding to shootings are picking up the 200,000 phone calls a year of mental health calls. And what we've seen elsewhere in the country is you can actually move mental health calls out of the police department. That can reduce the calls that police have to deal with by 20%. And in doing so, you can increase police response time to those major categories of crime.
Mamdani's ideas and his background have stirred up a lot of talk. Some wealthier New Yorkers are thinking about moving to Florida, Texas, and Connecticut because they worry about higher taxes and city-run grocery stores. Critics also warn that big wage increases could hurt jobs and that changes to public safety could be risky. But so far, there's no real evidence of a mass exodus, mostly just media hype. And still, most New Yorkers seem ready for a change.
I think it's really cool that we have a new kind of diversity in the politics of this city, you know. We've had a lot of the same kind of people for a long time. I think this is a really welcome change, and I'm excited to see what he can do for the people of New York City, because this is a great city, but it can be really hard to live here, and I hope that he can make it easier.
From young voters to longtime activists, Mamdani connects with everyday New Yorkers. He's promising big changes. With a progressive mayor, an all-women transition team, and millions of voters behind him, the city could look very different very soon.